chance to grow and thrive. Every moment that I bring is an opportunity to be me. Well, here I am again. Now I've recorded this particular show, but there were gaps because the internet went out. Poof. And basically, I'm going to have to do this again. So, for those who have heard Tears in My Goggles, this is a reboot. Tears in My Goggles, what does it refer to? I was studying to be a food inspector, and as part of my studies, I have to do microbiological labs, food microbiology. My experience has gone back to medical microbiology in the 1990s when I was studying, and now I'm still doing microbiology. One of the things I said I will never achieve, and that's in one of the chapters of my book. And it tells you all about everything that I said I will never do. I'll never be able to do programming. I'll never be able to do maths. I'll never be able to do microbiology. I became the lead programming lecturer at my college where I was for 8 years. And also the external moderator, Oscar moderator. That means you mark samples, and basically if Edexcel agrees with your marks, then your college, that's the whole college, that whole department, do not have to submit files for student portfolios, for I think it was for 3 years or something like that. So it was really important that I got that right. I needed that skill, and I thank God, I developed the prowess and got that done. With regards to mathematics, I accidentally became a mathematics teacher after teaching programming, and it wasn't expected, but I still teach math even till today. I tutor as well as teach functional skills math, and the math I do is more for people in the business place. So I teach apprentices. And with regards to microbiology, I said I will never do that. In the 90s, it was the only subject that would match with my IT degree. Oh my word. It was a major minor, and I did an IT with microbiology degree. Yeah, so it was at least a third of all my studies. It wasn't easy because it was new to me, but I studied and I achieved. I wish I had done better, but I enjoyed it. So I did medical microbiology. I looked at antimicrobial chemotherapy, the antibiotics. Long before they were saying antibiotics, you could become resistant to them. I was already playing around with those strains, and also, with germs, Ebola. I was working with Ebola virus long before it became a crisis. Lots of those things. But I'm just saying that to say you've got experiences from your past that are really going to help you in your future. But what you have to remember is through the sadness, through the strain, through the tears in your goggles, don't give up. Don't ever give up. Just remember, I'm living, I'm alive, got my chance to grow and thrive. You've got to make sure you're growing and you're thriving. Yes, you might take one step back, but you're going to take 10 steps forward. Only if you are determined to keep going. You have it within you to achieve so much more. I wish I was there with you to really look you in the eyes and tell you, you are going to achieve your dreams. But in the meantime, you just have to listen to my voice. So going to the Tears in My Goggles, I'm going to summarise that experience because I recorded it once. Hopefully I won't go off here with this internet and Wi-Fi. But I was doing a gram stain on some homogenized rice. And that means that, you put the rice in a liquid and you put it in a machine that kind of like mashes it together. until it becomes a liquid form that you can use, and that will be your 100% culture that you will then use to dilute and to then pipette and spread over your Petri dish. Using agar, sometimes you use blood agar, sometimes you use nutrient agar. So the agar that we use in food is also used in the labs for growing bacteria. And then you put different things in the agar to make that bacteria grow and simulate, maybe it's your stomach, to simulate a human skin, to simulate the blood. You put blood in the agar. I mean, it's real blood that goes in the agar. So all this amazing stuff happens in a lab. Anyway, I had an issue with members that I was on the course with. They were not used to people of my culture being there. It made life difficult because they didn't want to work with me, or they were very rash, and they weren't pleasant. And then it got to 9 months. It got to a point that the teacher walked out one day, or lecturer, and they were very verbal. So it's not just me in my head thinking this. They told me exactly how they felt about me, and they did not like my culture. So they were and because we were all adults, they didn't hold anything back. So I decided to work on my own. So I decided, with this sadness, why would people be like this? Because we're all here just to get a qualification and go home. And we're only here once a month for 3 days. We don't see each other, every day of the week, every day of the month. And we're going to go on and live our lives elsewhere. So why? Anyway, I decided to stay behind. I was told to use the results of other people. They obviously didn't want to give me their results, but a lot of the results were coming up with false negatives. And for those who do lab work, you know how devastating that is when you've got a false positive, false negative, and then you have to justify it in your methodology and in your report. So I decided, I had 3 little glass slips on the go doing the gram stain, and I had my goggles on and my lab coat, and I decided I'm not leaving that lab until I get either a positive or a negative gram stain. No false positives, no false negatives. And I cried through the whole process. Yes, I was feeling down, but I was not prepared to allow how I was feeling to stop me achieving. So what I want to share with you today is never, ever, ever, ever give up. It may mean that you take a break, but don't give up. Don't quit. When I took those goggles off to read under the microscope, there was so much water pouring out. I was like, wow, I didn't realize I was crying so much. But these were tears of joy mixed up with the sadness. But with those tears in my goggles, I was able to share with my friend, who's now a doctor. She was doing an exam, and she had to repeat that exam so many times. And I shared my experience. At that time, she was going through the process of having to redo her exams. And you never know how your experience is going to help somebody else. So with tears in your goggles, tears in your situation, sadness in your eyes, keep going. Don't ever give up. I decided to live, no more excuses. And I want to share that with you and encourage you to remember to live. Take care. Peace out. Ciao, ciao.